This video goes out to the guy who had the most amazing influence on me ever since I was younger. Listening to his voice, reading his old artwork, watching interviews with him. This was a man who had pretty much set a standard into my world and who made me the nerd who I am today. Sure, this is a video about one of his most obscure creations, but this video still goes out to Stanley and all that he created. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you for a moment to remember Stanley. Rest in peace, Stanley. Stanley, this man has created it all, from the Fantastic Spider-Man to the Fantabulous Fantastic Four, to the Uncanny X-Men, to the Incredible Hulk, to the Silver Surfer, and so much more. But even Stan Lee has seen his fair shares of ups and downs in his own comic business. And today's video is no substitute to that, because today's video is about Stan Lee's creation, Stripperella. And be forewarned, people, we're gonna deal with a lot of sexualized stuff and a lot of other things within this business, so if this is not your flavors, then I would get out while you can, because this is gonna deal with a lot of graphical stuff. This is just, well, my computer's froze, but this is gonna deal with a lot of sexual themed stuff, so have no fear about that. So let's tell the story. While my computer's froze, in a minute I will pause the video and we're going to discuss the true origins behind Stripperella and how she was created. And if you are interested in the animated series that is based off the comics by Mr. Stan Lee, then never to fear. Fellow YouTuber Saber Spark has reviewed the entire series of Stripperella, and I will link his channel in a card and also in the description down below. So if you are interested to see his video on Stripperella, then you can be sure to do so. And also, well, I mean you can go and check out his channel. I don't know Saber Spark, and I wish I did, but I did watch his video. Mildly hilarious, very entertaining, and very informative about the superheroine Stripperella. Anyways, let's get into it. One night, Stan Lee, apparently so, went to a strip club, and for reasons unknown, yes, he did actually go to a strip club. Maybe to hang out, maybe to meet somebody, who knows. But anyways, back in the past, he did in fact go to a strip club, where he was met by a beautiful and sexy redhead who offered him a lap dance. But while she was offering him a lap dance, told him about a story that she would happen in comic book form about a superheroine who was a stripper on the outside, but on on the inside of the strip club, but on the outside she was a superheroine secret agent who worked late at night, who went by the code name of Stripperella. This gave Stan Lee and one hell of a tremendous idea. In fact, that he pushed forward to this to push the comic book forward and actually make a superheroine named Stripperella. So inspired by the stripper, and probably he stole her idea so she could have gotten copyright for it, but whatever. Inspired by her idea, Stan Lee took this comic book forward and invented his famous superheroine Stripperella, aka Exotica. No, I'm not making that up. Her actual name is Exotica. But compared to the Pamela Anderson version, she actually is a redhead and not a blonde. In this version, though, she is in fact a redhead who can and will kick all types and forms of ass. I don't know anything about the original stripper besides what I already know. She is a stripper who is in fact a secret agent. She goes into secret agent missions with secret agent gear, and she is quite sexy in her own right. From what I can basically tell, this is not your typical average ordinary Peter Parker Spider-Man story, or hell, even Fantastic Four standards. This is Stan Lee at probably his weirdest when he was creating something that was not for kids, which is something he'd been known to do. And that is basically what it. But to be surprised and to surprise you all, his comic was very successful. Yeah, I'm just as surprised as you are. Stripperella actually was a major successful comic of the time, to the point where it could have even spawned off a movie as hinted by Stan Lee himself. But instead, it had a different form. This meant contacting one of the world's sexiest women, known as Pamela Anderson, ex-Playboy model, to take on the job of probably the strangest thing that she ever done in her job. Become the adult star of an adult cartoon show for Stan Lee. Yep. Apparently Anderson had a made in the shade. But if you watch Saber Sparks' video, you know that she's not a very good voice actress, and her lines in the thing are just ridiculous. They just should have made Stripperella a silent female protagonist who basically just takes off her clothes, because that's almost what Pamela Anderson was known for, and it would have been just funny. But yeah, they actually made Stripperella based on Pamela Anderson, which she sadly was not. She was just based on a redhead stripper who Stan Lee met in a strip club one night. So probably he'd been disappointed by this dream. And the fact that noticing that this thing had 2 seasons, yeah, it just made me question everything. Because in the first season, I gotta admit, with Saber Spark, it was pretty good, and it did look good, and it did sort of sound good. But then in the later on years, they created something that just didn't have the same vibe as the first season, nor the same sort of story or anything like that. Have I ever seen Stripperella? Well, to be honest, I think I have, but that was a really long time ago. Maybe by mistake, because it used to be on Spike when it was aired, or basically, yeah, it was on just adult programming such as Spike or anything else at the time. So no, I haven't really seen it. Would I have liked to at the time? Well, I think it would have been very fascinating with a story. I mean, besides, it had boobs, man. Boobs. And Pamela Anderson. But mostly boobs. I know it isn't fair to pick on somebody's creation that they created, oh god, decades ago, and the fact that the person's gone even makes it even sadder. And if that's what you think that I'm doing here, I'm not. Though she does have a very fascinating backstory. Someone who told Stan Lee the story, took the story into full length, and almost had a future-length movie out of it. More than likely, probably with Pamela Anderson too. But the fact that it spawned off a not-so-successful cartoon is pretty much props. You can find Stripperella comics probably anywhere that you'd want to. And the fact that this thing actually exists is, well, pretty astounding on my part, especially for a man like Stan Lee. So, yeah, Stan Lee is a man, he's a myth, he's a legend. And, for goodness sakes, he has to be one of my favorite guys in comic industries. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I have to end this part out probably more than likely with a joke, so I'm just gonna try to do something new.